Hello everybody. We have to start today with Iniesta, of course. Andres Iniesta. For me, Andres Iniesta is that moment where the ball gets to him from Cesc. And he says he felt like there was a total silence. And I was there. It was total silence. And only one sound, the sound of him hitting the ball and going in and hitting the net. I know it's weird, memories are strange, but that's how I remember that moment. Perhaps I stole it from him, because that's more or less how he describes it. But Andres Iniesta is much more than that, and the way he celebrated suggests exactly that. Of course, he showed the homage that he gave to Dani Jarque, the captain of Espanyol, who died at 24, and he did more. He was at the Espanyol Stadium, again in an homage to Dani Jarque. He gave that shirt that is so famous to the Espanyol Museum to keep it there. That's Andres Iniesta. It's somebody who's gone through his dark holes, moments of difficulties, mental difficulties that he's admitted, but he overcame them. 3 months before the World Cup, he was injured. There's pictures of him crying and coming out of the training ground crying, or the training pitch, because he thought he wouldn't make it to the World Cup. And in fact, he missed the second game, didn't he? Because of a knock. But that wasn't nothing with the injuries that had 3 injuries that he had that season that almost kept him out of the 2010 World Cup. Andres Iniesta is a model to everybody. It really is. At a time where players are more worried about their image, as Pep Guardiola said it a few years back, you won't see a tattoo or you won't see a white hair with Iniesta, and of course represents the values that Barcelona wants to give to his youth. 34 titles, 35 when he wins the league. Fantastic picture of Messi hugging him when he was replaced at the end of the cup final against Sevilla. And of course, they both have the same number of titles because they both represent an era that has extended in time because of both of them. Andres Iniesta will be missed. He has not said where he's going because he's not everything finished. We all know that he's got a massive offer from China. I don't think he's got any other big offers, but that one is about 30 million euros net. He's got 2 million euros. 2 million bottles of wine that will go to China, and the promise from the club, Chongqing Dian Lifan, that they will actually promote his wine in China. Now that's massive, because he employs in his bodegas, they employ 100 people from the village that is from Fuente Alvilla. 100 people, full-time and part-time. And that's guarantee of the future. Those 2 million those 2 million bottles will guarantee, obviously, quick sell of what they have, production of new wine, but also guarantee of having a huge market interested in their product. So it's not a decision only about him; it's a decision about his family, but also about his village. That is Andres Iniesta. He, of course, said that. Gave an homage to everybody, broke in tears. Have a look at the video if you see it somewhere, and announced what we all expected, that he's leaving. So that's Andres Iniesta, who of course will continue receiving the homage of everybody in all the stadiums, apart from San Mamés, where they don't clap him there because he forced the sending off of one of their players one day, and they don't forget that. Yes, he'll be in our memory forever. The fact that he actually, as Pep Guardiola said as well, and others, made us understand football better. And he's the kind of player that you want in your team because he always does the things that have to be done. That's Andres Iniesta. What else is happening? Zinedine Zidane has shown new signs of maturity as a coach. He will continue at Real Madrid, of course, but he's shown that by choosing the players, he's got different plans. What I mean by that is, he's looked at the individuality and the individual quality of those players, and has thought, okay, if I bring Lucas Vázquez or Marco Asensio, this is what I'm going to get. He has taken aside Benzema and Bale, even though he said today that he will fight for them to stay at the club. we'll see what happens, because Real Madrid won another striker if Benzema goes, and they want to sell Bale, even though Bale has been told by Real Madrid they don't want to sell him, and even though he's saying he doesn't want to go. That's where we stand at the moment. The movements that Real Madrid makes before selling a star are taking place, including not playing in the key games of the season in the Champions League this season. And some of the stories that are appearing in the Spanish press suggest that he's melancholic, that he's not happy. I crossed paths with him in Munich after the game, and he had a poker face. He went all serious. And we normally stop and have a chat, but he kind of apologized with his eyes, saying, sorry, I cannot stop, and I need to go, and I need to look with this poker face, so nobody takes pictures of him being upset or anything. It was very important. Through the mixed zone, of course, you can take pictures, you can talk to the players, but he just wanted to go through it as quickly as possible and move on, and not give any hints of what's going to happen next. When Madrid wanted him, Manchester United put a much bigger offer for him. That must have been when David Moyes was in charge, and he said no to Manchester United. He had to go to Real Madrid. It's the club he wanted, but it looks like his time is over there. So we will see. What else? Atletico Madrid, the consequences of that draw are still being heard, of course. I was in Sky Sports today, we were talking about it. I spoke to Koke after the game, and after I did the video at the stadium, and he basically admitted that the team was ready for a 1-0 defeat, that was it. But an accident happened, or 2 or 3 accidents in a row happened, which have been far too often the case for Arsenal, and I'm sure that's what upsets fans. There's still a second leg, and accidents can happen. It could be a sending off, it could be an early goal, it could be the fact that Arsenal can't score, and what happens if Atletico Madrid cannot manage to do so? Costa should be back. Atletico Madrid clearly favourites, but they took away, we say in Spain, the Virgin appeared for them. They were lucky, but they took the luck, of course. Umtiti is something else I wanted to tell you about, because after being knocked out by Roma, Barcelona and Umtiti have been talking. I think he's kind of put the brakes on all the demands that he had. He wanted to earn 3 times more what he was earning, and Manchester United willing to pay 60 million euros of his buyout clause. But his performance was poor at the key moment of the season. So perhaps he's been humble enough to actually go to Barcelona and say, okay, let's keep talking. Barcelona believe that they can keep him, but they still got Lenglet of Sevilla in the background. It's possible that they invest in him anyway. So those are the things happening. Barcelona could be crowned champions, of course, this weekend, and if that happens, it will be a very well-deserved champion. Somebody asked me in the office today, is there a case to make of who's had a better season if Real Madrid wins the Champions League, Barcelona or Real Madrid? It's like, no, do not do that. Even if Real Madrid beat Barcelona in the Clásico, and that's the 6th of May, Barcelona has been the best team in Spain. But Real Madrid seem to be one of the top teams in the Champions League. Different kind of glory, different kind of recognition, of course. And that's about it for now. I'll leave you with that, and there will be more coming. Sure, always. Subscribe. Let's not forget that. Subscribe. We're doing pretty well, actually. I don't know if I'm supposed to admit this, but we got like 2,000 new subscribers in the last couple of weeks. So we'll be doing more stuff around the Champions League semi-finals and the Europa League semi-final, the Atletico Madrid Arsenal. And as I say, there's few things happening in the next few days, weeks, which I'm sure you'll be interested to hear. So keep an eye on it. Bye.